Guardian, glad you could make it. We got a lot of work we need to do before we can strike at the Witness, and part of that is gathering reinforcements. Sure, Kyle and Mizrax are bringing in their friends, but I think it'll be the smaller, more humble kind of reinforcement that wins the day. Ghosts, I mean. I brought a flock with me, but there's a lot of other unpartnered ghosts out there who aren't accounted for. So, what I'd like you to do is follow up on some leads I have, and go find these friends and bring them back here to join the fight. And I have just the ghost for you to start with. Her name is Peach, and she's a delight. My last telemetry for her was out in Old Russia's Cosmodrome. Start your investigation there. Good luck, Guardian. See you on the return. Ada was dead. Dead for a long time now. So for her to be here, there's only a handful of possibilities. On the one hand, it could be an illusion. Savathun masking a hive wizard in order to infiltrate her sister's ranks and sow discord. On the other, it could be necromancy. But there's too many variables to know. Peach was definitely onto something, though.
I'm picking up a latent light signature from Peach. I think we can follow it to where she is.
Good work, Guardian. Bring her back safe and sound. Peach was lucky to get out of that situation with only a few dents and dings. The world outside of the Pale Heart is transforming. We got no room for error now. I'll get Peach set up in a cleansing team here in the Pale Heart. I'll contact you when I have telemetry on another ghost. Stay safe, Guardian. I've got telemetry on another unpartner ghost. Your next target is Link, a member of a covert team of unpartner ghosts called the Watchful Eye. All of Link's peers have wound up back here, but Link isn't accounted for. His last known location was roughly in the area of the Ocean of Storms on the Moon, but he may have moved on by now. Start your research there, and see if we can pick up his trail. I'll be waiting for you both. remember when the nightmares were awakened on the moon. Feels like an eternity ago, but I know it was only a few years. So much has happened since then.
You're telling me. You know, as much as things keep changing, it's nice to know that some places are still the same desolate, horrible little hellholes that you remember.
Vicariously enjoying the Guardians' hard work?
Honestly, I am a little miss this place.
You talk like you don't intend on staying.
I'm just being realistic. We might not all walk away from the fight that's coming.
Then, when I write my next letter to the Traveler, I'll be sure to thank it for the time we were given.
Man, this guy? Come on, Guardian, put one in his belly for me. Guardian, put one in his belly for me. Oh man, this guy! Come on, Guardian, put one in his belly for me. Oh man, this guy! Come on, Guardian, put one in his belly for me. Come on, Guardian, put one in his belly for me.
scanning them.
Maybe he was trying to figure out where they come from.
Oh, we already know that, Cade. We figured that out years ago. They're not much of a threat anymore.
Oh, yeah, right. No, that makes sense. That's, good work, everybody.
Kate.
Hey, no worries. Just, playing catch-up here with all the thrilling revelations. Where to next?
I've got a rough idea of Link's location. He's deeper inside the moon. Come on, let's go find him.
Link was always thorough to a fault. Glad to see nothing's changed there. The final shape spreading to the moon isn't a surprise, but that it's hitting the Hive as hard as anyone else? Guess there really is nowhere safe. No promise or allegiance that can save you. And the Hive want this. I'm looking forward to punching the Witness in each of its stupid faces. But, one thing at a time, I guess. I'll let you know when I know more. Diana is an interesting ghost. One of the oldest unpartnered I know of. Had me worried for a while that she might wind up partnered with a risen Hive, but it turns out that wasn't the case. Some ghosts have searched for centuries for their guardian. I know yours did. Diana was last seen in the EDC investigating Taken activity. Hopefully we can find her quick. Come back in one piece, okay? So I found telemetry for Bean. He's a handful, always rushing off into hostile territory. He and I tend to cross paths on remote scouting missions, so the fact that his beacon pinged from Nessus shouldn't surprise me. But that's what I like about him. No fear, no hesitation. Bean just plows through. We need that kind of energy here. We'll make sure he didn't get caught in a temporal loop or some other Vex nonsense. I'll keep an eye on things here. Welcome back. I've got another ghost telemetry for you. This time it's Akasha. She's an unpartnered ghost that has been systematically scanning Awoken territory for years. I got a lock on her beacon in the Dreaming City, probably still trying to find her guardian. I need you to head out and find Akasha and bring her back safe and sound. I look forward to your return. It's been a long time since I was in the EDZ. Standing in the shadow of the Traveler's Shard always made me feel small, lost.
I feel the same thing. We should talk about that sometime, Micah. Right now, to find Diana.
You're right. On all counts. It looks like Diana's signal is coming from the reservoir.
I'm detecting a massive spike in Taken. I think they've moved back into the dam.
Interesting. I lived inside the dam for a while after I was risen, to get away from Spider and the shore. That's where the Traveler started sending me visions in my dreams. Ones that led me to rebuild Hawkmoon, to find the Radiant Exhibitor.
I read about that. It's a jump ship, right?
Yeah. There's a rusted old clunker sitting in a hidden hangar, but then the Traveler acted, changed the ship, redesigned it, rebuilt it.
For you?
Well, no. I let the Guardian use it when he need to.
Sounds like a metaphor. Just like rebuilding Hawkmoon was. But you had a new purpose. I would take you far away from here.
I guess that explains why the ship doesn't have any conventional controls.
Sometimes you have to just strap yourself in and hope for the best.
Sometimes.
Taken present as received. But I'm thinking of a number of spatial anomalies. The final shape is distorting things here, just like it was elsewhere.
It's reached Earth.
I found Diana's trail. I think she's headed into the dark forest, in the shadow of the Shard of the Traveler.
Then we follow her. We don't have any time to waste. The final shape has reached Earth. We're running out of time. I knew we might reach this point eventually, but seeing it is something else entirely. But we're not ready to move against the Witness. The Traveler isn't ready. Oh, we may not have time. We only get one shot at defeating the Witness. We have to make it our best. Mars. Of course Citrine would be on Mars. She's been obsessed with Warmind hardware for a long time. I don't know how many times Anna had to tell her she wasn't going to build her a combat frame to ride in. Just so she could have arms to beat Hive with. Citrine means well, but we need her here. Be careful out there, Guardian. Nessus. I spent a lot of time out here mapping the Vex network access points with the Coyotes. I know this place like the back of my hand.
Hey, me too! I mean, I did less mapping and more, getting trapped. Oh, I should say something to Failsafe, tell her hi or something.
I thought you weren't going to be doing the sentimental tour.
I'm not. I'm just, one or two letters won't hurt. She deserves as much.
As for our wayward ghost, I've tracked Bean into the inside terminus. We should look for him there.
Hey, I know that place. Failsafe loves it.
Well, she'll be happy to know some of her old friends are there too. I'm picking up a detachment of Red Legion landing in the vicinity now.
Okay, I know I've been out of the loop, but the Red Legion, they're gone, right? They're gone?
Sort of. Their leadership is. Which means this is either a Red Legion warlord acting on his own,
or they answer to the Shadow Legion. I don't like either option. There's no doubt about it, that's Kargan. And he's trying to tap into the Vex network again.
I hate to say it, but this might answer a long-standing question I had about Cabal cloning programs. Apparently, they can clone scions.
Wait, this guy's a clone? Gee, die for just a little while.
Whatever's going on, we have to stop it. I'll try and pin down what data he's accessing while I look for beam signal.
Stay down!
I've got beam signal. It looks like he's gone deeper into Nexus. It should be easy to bump him. As for what Kargan Clone was doing here, it looks like he was trying to access Vex data on Oxford again.
That's the Scion prediction machine, right? Sees the future in branching paths. Future War Cult has something similar.
Based on what I'm seeing here, I can't be sure they aren't the same thing. The same design. But I don't know how that's possible. Kargan was trying to access the Soul Device's research on the Veil as well. I don't understand how all these things are connected. But I can tell where the orders are coming from. A Scion named Atzat. And these orders are recent. I think there might be defector branches within the Shadow Legion. One's not loyal to the Witness.
And they're trying to pin down potential outcomes. Make plans for what? The event of our success?
Maybe. But it looks like something blocked them. But I don't know how that's possible.
Why? What stopped Kargan?
If this log is correct, Maya Sundaresh did.
Maya, whoa. Why does that name sound so familiar?
Why don't you and I talk about that offline, Cade? Let the Guardian and Ghost track down Bean.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm glad you were able to rescue Bean. He's going to be a great asset to healing the Traveler. I can't help but be worried about what you found while searching for him. I thought the Scion defectors sided with the Witness. But it's looking more and more like that may be a deception. There's something else going on here. Something we're going to have to tackle head-on in the future, if we're lucky. I have new ghost telemetry for you, but a word of warning on this one. Anwar is a ghost who has been through a lot. He was once a close confidant of the Speaker. After the Speaker died, Anwar began to question his connection to the light, and began seeking out the truth about darkness. Anwar believes that darkness is an intrinsic universal force that must be tended to like a garden, lest it grow unruly. But do not let Anwar's beliefs cast a shadow of doubt on his allegiances. He's an unwavering ally, but one who questions everything. His telemetry data leads me to believe he may be inside the pyramid on Europa. I don't know what you'll find there. Be safe, Guardian.
I've got a read on Akasha's location, but her light signature here isn't a straight trail like the others. It cuts in and out.
She's probably skipping through the ascended plane. Hold on. Flint and I devised some sensor modulations to help track between planes.
Sending it to you now.
Thanks, Flint.
This is the same path Flint and I took hunting down Zebu Rat's High Celebrant all those years ago. It's familiar territory.
Then hopefully we'll be able to find Akasha before anything happens. here. I think she was analyzing the ley lines, looking for something.
I'm seeing some alarming things in your feed. There's a lot of movement in the ley lines, high transfer rates of matter.
The moment I turn my back, this has to be the work of Zivor Wrath.
Far as I can tell, she didn't join the Witness, which means she's playing us against each other.
I suppose it only makes sense. If the Witness succeeds, she will cease to exist as she is. But if it fails, we will be weakened from our war. Vulnerable.
Akasha's signal winds through here. I think she was analyzing the ley lines, looking for something.
I'm seeing some alarming things in your feed. There's a lot of movement in the ley lines, high transfer rates of matter.
The moment I turn my back, this has to be the work of Zivor Wrath.
Far as I can tell, she didn't join the Witness, which means she's playing us against each other.
I suppose it only makes sense. If the Witness succeeds, she will cease to exist as she is. But if it fails, we will be weakened from our war. Vulnerable.
I found Akasha's beacon. She's not too far away in the Dreaming City.
That's wonderful news. While you've been working, Crow and I have been going over the data from your feed.
Xivu Arath is moving Hive through the Ascendant Plane en masse. With Mara focused on holding back the final shape, they've gone unnoticed.
Hopefully when you find Akasha, she'll have more to say on the subject. Good work, Guardian. So this is interesting. Akasha returned some analytics from her scans of the Dreaming City's ley lines, and it's troubling. There's hive activity surging through the Ascendant Plane. Xivu Arath's brood. And as far as I can tell, she's a no-show here. Which means she's cut her losses from the Witness, but that also means she's planning something else. If we make it out of this alive, I've got a bad feeling there'll be another war waiting for us on the horizon. Nothing we can do about that right now, though. Get back out there. One apocalypse at a time. I found the general location of Hailung. She's another member of the Watchful Eye. Turns out Hailung was sent on a long-term recon operation inside Savathun's throne world. But that was over a year ago. There's been no contact with Hailung since, and I don't know what to expect. The Hidden provided me with her last known coordinates. We'll have to start there and see what we can find.